That's entirely fine. One of the issues I have is toxic workplaces. So again, the nature of my work is I move around from company to company. So I will have different experiences in different places. But more or less, you will have a situation where there's a particular department or a particular division where there are a number of problems, either high staff turnover, you hear about workplace incidents of shouting and so on. How does this play into that? Because again, it's environmental, and people always tend to reflect outward. So it's not about me, it's about where I work, it's about who my supervisor is, it is about how they talk to me. It isn't normally about how have I contributed to this. What is it that I am doing that is causing this outcome? So how do we get that shift from blaming the environment or making it all about where I am and who is around me, and about what is it that I am doing that's affecting where I am?
Yeah. I think there's two kind of ways to look at it, and I think one's at the individual level and one's at the systemic level. On the individual level, when people understand more about their experience, it's not to say that they will put up with something for a long time, but you would hope that it would change the way they manage it for themselves. Because let's take a micromanaging boss, and again, psychological fitness. This isn't an operation. We don't lose an arm and then brilliant, it's always a work in progress, but it's when you have the understanding, you can respond differently to things. So with the person that's maybe got a toxic boss, let's say, they start to understand that they depersonalize what the boss is doing to them, and they can just know that what that person's doing is coming from negative thinking and feeling in them. It's nothing to do with me. So that does depend on how much the boss is kind of putting loads of work and everything else. We can't say for every single situation. But let's say you know enough now to know that I don't need to react to that because it isn't about me, it's about them. So that makes it so much easier to deal with something, first of all. Now, the second thing is, one of the reasons that I see that companies get into issues all the time is that they don't have the honest conversations. And why don't they? Because there's always the fear that it will be uncomfortable. So humans, we don't like feeling uncomfortable. And when we teach people about, that feeling, it's just a warning that you're thinking. Like we help people to understand that a feeling is that your thinking is going a bit off kilter. So it's a bit like you driving in your car and the petrol light coming on and you shouting at the next car, your petrol light's on. It's like, it's not in their car, it's you. It's your feeling. So as soon as we're feeling something, we're thinking slightly off kilter about something. So when you think about that, when we help people to put that to one side and just be able to talk and stay neutral and not buy into their thinking. So let's say, Jeremy, I need to have a conversation with Jeremy because, his team has got really high turnover, but what if Jeremy leaves? And what if I say something wrong? What if Jeremy's upset? And all of those things, all of that thinking, of course, creates stressful feeling, which ultimately means either I avoid the conversation because I don't like the feeling, that's one way, or I have the conversation, it comes from such a place of stress, which you pick up on, that the whole conversation ends badly. So that when we don't know where our feelings come from, and it's all driven by thinking, it's very hard for us to find a right and natural path through things.